So we last saw Representative Jamaal Bowman when he was pretending to not know how fire alarms work. Although I have to admit, I don't know if he was pretending or not. This is still one of the great political questions of our age. Would Jamaal Bowman be dumber if he pulled the fire alarm in the Capitol building because he didn't know how fire alarms work? Or is he dumber if he pulled it because he did know how they work? Whichever is the dumber option is the correct option in this case, because we know that Jamaal Bowman, whatever else he is extremely, extremely dumb. And in case you had any doubt about that, here is Jamaal Bowman on Saturday giving a speech, I guess we would call this, at a campaign rally. Let's watch.
We're going to show them who the we are! Bowman! 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 Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! We are not going to stand silent while U.S. tax dollars kills babies.
I agree with that last part. We don't want U.S. tax dollars to go to killing babies. So, I mean, I'm fascinated that Jamaal Bowman has come out against Planned Parenthood funding. So that's a surprise. I don't know. Aside from that, I don't know which part of that speech is the best. Is it the part where he's waving a stool around in the air? Is it the part where he shouts, "We're going to show them who the F we are," which is supposed to sound cool and tough, but instead comes off as both dorky and very stupid, which is the worst of both worlds. Like, if you're going to be a dork, at least be smart. And if you're going to be, if you're going to be dumb, at least don't be a dork. But like he does both, which is interesting. So maybe that's the best part. Maybe it's the part where he starts chanting his own last name, which you cannot do that. It's a cardinal sin. It's like giving yourself a nickname. You can't do that. You can't start a chant for yourself of your own last name. Or maybe it's the fact that he had one sleeve rolled up. And this is a sitting U.S. congressman, by the way. Okay, just to remind you. And I know I use this comparison all the time just because it's the world we live in, but that is literally the president character from Idiocracy. Okay, go and watch the scene where he comes out for the State of the Union address in Idiocracy, which is 300 years in the future, when the average IQ in America is 30 or something. It's indistinguishable. You know, it's worth remembering that, and I was thinking about this when I was watching this clip, that 20 years ago, back in 2004, Howard Dean had his political career destroyed because he shouted the word "yeah" kind of awkwardly at a campaign rally. Okay, and so just for any of you young kids out there, if you weren't around back then or you weren't old enough to remember it, I want to show you this, just so you can appreciate the point that I'm trying to make here. What you're about to, we'll play it again. Okay, classic clip here. But keep in mind, this is considered one of the great gaffes in modern American political history. This completely upended his presidential campaign. It destroyed his career because of this one moment. Let's watch that.
You know something? You know something? If you had told us 1 year ago that we were going to come in third in Iowa, we would have given anything for that. And you know something? You know something? Not only are we going to New Hampshire, Tom Harkin, we're going to South Carolina and Oklahoma and Arizona and North Dakota and New Mexico. And we're going to California and Texas and New York. And we're going to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House. Yeah!
He's all smiling and happy after that moment. He thought he landed it. He thought it was a great moment. Little did he know what the next 20 years of his life would become because of that. Now, I remember at the time, even though the guy's he's a jackass, obviously. Even so, I remember thinking at the time that it was a little unfair for that to be treated the way that it was. That it's just destroyed him. Now, it's a weird scream. He's obviously someone, like any politician, he's trying to emulate, imitate, rather, normal human emotions, but he's not a human. So he's trying, this is him in his lizard brain saying, well, this is what people do when they're excited. And he's trying to imitate excitement, and it comes out like this. But at the time, it seemed like, okay, yeah, I mean, it's weird, but why would this be such a gaffe, such a scandal? And yet now I've started to think of it differently, because now I long for the days when we had such high expectations for our politicians that if they did something embarrassing like that, it would be the end of their careers. You know, there was a time when there were some standards, and one of them was, you know, if you really just make an ass of yourself in public, if you're that embarrassing, then your career's over. Because now you compare that to, you compare that moment to things we see and hear from our politicians every day. Compare it to the Jamaal Bowman rally, okay, right? Like, there were, in that 50-second clip of the Jamaal Bowman rally that I just played, there were 5 moments that were far more embarrassing than the Dean scream. But we just accept it now. We accept that we are governed by these inarticulate half-wits. Speaking of inarticulate half-wits, AOC was at the rally also. Here she is, let's watch her taking the stage. She's very pumped up. Let's watch this. I love how the audience isn't nearly as excited as she wants them to be. There's also about 50 people there. There was another shot, I don't know if we have it, but there's a shot from the opposite angle of the crowd. And they had sort of roped off because they were expecting, it looks like thousands, and they got maybe 70, and half of them are journalists. So, but she still comes out and it's all just so nerdy and embarrassing. She reminds me of like a 7th grade math teacher trying to get her students pumped up. Are we ready, y'all? We ready to do some algebra? Get those math textbooks out. Are y'all ready? This is fun, kids. I'm just kidding, of course. AOC can't do algebra, but you get the point. There was also this moment with AOC and Bowman together. I think this was after the rally, maybe, or before. Who cares? Anyway, here they are together.
Ceasefire now, y'all. That's what we're doing. Ceasefire now. Let's get it popping. The polls are open today. The polls are open tomorrow. Make sure you get out to vote. Election day is Tuesday. Let's go. We need record turnout all across the district, especially in Yonkers, Mount Vernon, New Rochelle, Co-op City, and Edenwald. Let's get it popping. Let's change the world. It's the many versus the money. We're going to win. Let's go, baby.
We're going to win. We're going to take on AIPAC, and we're going to kick some Wall Street ass. So let's go.
Stop the bombs.
He's got the towel over his shoulder, one sleeve rolled up, shirt half tucked in. That's not. Is that even the style now? That's like 1997. I don't know. I don't keep up to date on these things, but let's get it poppin'. Is that even? Do people say that anymore? Is that? Do the kids say that? Is that an expression people use? Did they ever use that? I was expecting him to drop a "it's the bomb" or like "raise the roof." That's what I thought was coming next. Like, my dad is 70 years old and white, and he would sound more natural using these phrases. It would be bad enough if somebody like Jamaal Bowman was authentically carrying on this way, like this is how he actually is. But it's even worse that he's pretending. And these are the people we have leading the country. Hey, YouTube, thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like access to my full show with no ads, you should go to dailywire.com and use promo code Walsh to get 2 months free on all annual plans. See you there.